Tripped on your own dick right out the gate, didn't you?
Open your mouth, prepare your tongue, because you're about to get a taste.
I cannot believe we've gone 12 episodes without me being able to talk about Final Fantasy.
Well, I know the doll is bad, so I gotta think the Dusty Balloon is less bad.
I mean, if all life everywhere ends, what have I lost?
Facial hair as a theme is not something I ever would have chosen.
So yeah, that's the one that Rock is just sweaty the whole time.
He's got that good pointy Jafar beard.
I've got 3 pages of AMA citations.
This is the Debate This podcast. Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comics, video games, and how we might be leaning on the execs called and we need a new idea device a little too much in this podcast.
Ooh,
Shut up, Kyle.
Yeah,
Think of your own.
jeez.
Think of your own thing then. Jeez.
It's extra meta because that's 100% what we're doing today.
There it is.
Today we're going to throw things back a little bit. We're going to take it to the year 2000. The U.S. was in the midst of a bitter presidential runoff between Al Gore and George Bush. Fanboys were screaming about how a little-known Australian actor, Hugh Jackman, would ruin Wolverine and the X-Men movie. And the Sony PlayStation 2 launched, bringing with it
Man.
the greatest skating game ever made, cultural touchstone, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, follow-up to the previous holder of both those titles, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
What a fucking year.
Man,
You know what else?
Ugh.
You know what else happened in this year?
Matt was born.
Matt was born.
Ouch.
You made
Hey,
the
Matt
joke.
was born.
Everybody missed it.
I was gonna say the Pokemon movie came out, but fine. Yeah, jerks.
So a lot of things went into what made Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 some of the best games ever made. Their tight controls, the roster of unlockable characters. Andrew, I think you mentioned bringing skating as Darth Maul around the
Yeah.
airport.
Don't spoil my argument.
And just like the challenges and that it all came out of the box that way, and you didn't need to pay $60 a year later to get all the features because it was 2000 and we hadn't ruined games yet.
You're sounding awful crotchety there, Kyle.
Sorry. I'm back.
Average farmer members.
I'm back. But the thing we're going to talk about today and what makes them, I think, like so ingrained in our memory is their classic soundtracks. Tony Hawk Pro Skater only had 13 songs on it. Pro Skater 2 had 15. And these ska, power punk, and underground hip hop classics were drilled into our heads as we tried for hours and hours and hours to get our scores up to sick levels.
The emphasis on sick was really good.
Yes. the highest score you could achieve in these games. Well, boys, today the execs called.
Someone called.
Anybody but the execs.
The execs called because Tony Hawk is tired of not being recognized when he goes out in public. And we've been tasked with picking the soundtrack for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6.
Is it really only at 6? Like 5 was the last one?
So
5 was the last Tony
Number
Hawk Pro Skater game. There have been
Okay.
like 9 other Tony Hawk games between.
Gotcha.
there's like
4
15
and
games in
5.
the Tony Hawk franchise, but like
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is technically the 12th.
Whenever they allowed you to step off the skateboard, that's when I walked away from the franchise.
That was
Forever.
underground.
throwing a cigarette on the ground.
That was a Shadow the Hedgehog era when
It
everything
was.
was darker.
That's exactly what it was. They
Yeah.
did the gritty reboot for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk was out to assassinate the president.
I feel like the trailer featured like that getting off the skateboard mechanic to hit someone with the skateboard. Like I
think
feel
you're
like
right.
It was like the height of all the shit on MTV too, because it was like featuring like starring Bam Margera.
oh
Yeah,
yep.
Evil
like-
of Bam was the
Yeah,
biggest thing on
Evil of Bam.
TV.
Yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
Scarred was huge.
That's
and
what they were
Jackass
trying to
was
capitalize
huge. Man, those were good days.
on. They really were.
They were really bad for everybody who wasn't watching those things happen on TV.
That was the worst thing that we had at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, sorry, Kyle.
So with me today to help pick out this soundtrack are my three friends, are the creative team for Debate This Industries that keeps getting called up by these no-name execs. With me today are Andrew Disco Flip Henderson,
Nice.
Todd Board Slide Thomas,
Excellent.
and Matt Nose Grab Cole.
Radical.
Those were all amazing. Well done.
It could have failed real bad, but we got through it. So that second take really helped. Before we dive into picking out the songs on our new soundtrack, guys, let's brainstorm what made the first two soundtracks so special and iconic. So tell me what you think the best track out of those two soundtracks is, and what makes it representative of the games. Why is it the best song? Why is it better than the other two songs picked? And why we should try and use that as the start of our new soundtrack. Andrew.
Yeah. So Kyle, there's a right answer here. And the right answer is it's Goldfinger. It's absolutely Goldfinger. And there is no other answer. How could it not absolutely 100% be Superman's Goldfinger?
You mean Goldfinger's Superman?
Yeah. How about that one, Andrew? Tripped on your own dick right out the gate, didn't you?
This is another take. This is gonna be.
No, we're not doing it.
No, absolutely not. You get one take to talk about Clark Kent's colored phalanges. That's all you get. Superman's Goldfinger. Get the hell out of here.
It's like the time you said Moses' Ark, and I just let you go. You idiot.
Hey Kyle, ask me the question again.
No, don't ask him again. He's a normie piece of garbage, and he has to deal with this.
All right, cool. I'll clap us back in. 1, 3, 2, 1. All right, Kyle. Well, there's one answer here. And the answer is Superman. It's obviously Superman. It's 100% Goldfinger's Superman, the greatest and only important song in the first Tony Hawk soundtrack. There are two things that immediately come to mind when I think about that original game. The first is the Neversoft eyeball, and then the reminder that the developer's name is just a lame boner joke.
Lame.
Okay. And the second is those first 10 seconds of Superman. The drum hit, like the quick guitar lick, and then the trumpet noise. And you know what that line is.
What is it?
It's the best. It's the best. That to me is Tony Hawk 1. Like I remember it earlier as I was going through this. I don't really remember much about Tony Hawk 1 other than just the opening. I think because I only played the demo disc and then I played it later on the N64. But I remember playing through that first skate park, just like that skate park level 1,000 times, and just putting Goldfinger on repeat because I didn't care about any of the other songs because I was an idiot 12-year-old, and just playing it over and over and over and over again. And every time I hear it, even however 19 years later, every time I hear that beautiful, beautiful ska goodness, it makes me want to lace up my Chuck Taylors and go searching for some hidden VHS.
Nice. A very good pick. I think Goldfinger is what everyone kind of thinks of when they think of the Tony Hawk soundtrack, but I don't know. Matt and Todd might tell us why it's not the best pick to base our new soundtrack off of. Todd, what do you think?
Yeah, so the whole playlist of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is just it feels more nostalgic than nailing a flawless run on Downhill Jam, hitting all 5 valves while still beating your neighbor's best score. So suck it, Brent. Your score sucks.
I hate you, Brent.
You take that.
Is your neighbor's name really Brent?
I had a real neighbor named Brent growing up. Anyway.
Hi, Brent, if you're listening.
Brent's not listening to podcasts. That's fine. For me, the gem that we need to unearth is going to be Jerry Was a Race Car Driver by Primus. And I'll tell you why.
This is the wrong answer.
It's definitely the wrong answer.
If Andrew picked the right answer.
At least I didn't say the gem I'm going to unearth is Primus by Jerry Was a Race Car Driver because I'm an idiot. Anyway, I would argue that all of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 soundtrack, there's one song that you would hear the opening riff and instantly say, oh, that's the song from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, but I know nothing else about this song. And it's also the song that every one of us muttered, Jerry was a race car driver, and then trailed off because they didn't know the rest of the lyrics at all. Also, hey, Hey, do you guys remember Primus? That's cool, right? I remember Primus.
Remember when Primus was a band and allowed to exist?
I know we kind of beat this to death in our group chat, but like, how was Primus a band?
They were built in a
Guys,
lab.
I don't
and that's
understand
it.
why you keep saying was a band. Primus is touring right now. Primus was in Columbus like a month and a half ago.
That's an excellent point.
You know what, Matt? Primus is inside all of us in our heart. I understand.
We are all of us Primus.
Primus is the Fire Emblem. I get it.
Oh yeah, they had a studio album in 2017.
Yeah.
Okay.
Called Fire Emblem. My point is that if you want nostalgic, like true to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater songs, yeah, Superman by Goldfinger is great. But the reality is, like, this is a song that you hear and you're like, oh, hell yeah, that's on the soundtrack. You know Superman from other things. Everyone has heard that song. This is a song that exists exclusively in the world, in the canon of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and nowhere else.
That's not true,
except
Todd.
for the 4 Primus fans from that era.
Matt is on, one of those 4 Primus fans is on this podcast.
I know, definitely not. Certainly not me. Not a Primus fan. Sorry, internet. But there are diehard Primus fans. They exist, and they will be mad at you, Todd.
There are some Les Claypool fans.
I'm gonna fight all 4 of them. It's fine.
I don't
What's
understand the argument that
Jerry was a race car driver.
I stand
Good.
corrected.
Wow. How many arguments is Todd gonna kill with that awkward line?
Too many.
You hear it in your head when I say it. It's fine.
I don't want to though. I don't like that you've done this to me.
It's not about what you want. It's all for the glory of Mr. Anthony Hawk.
I hate everything that Todd releases into this world.
Okay, wait, hold
Please
on. I need
stop
to shit on
everything
Todd a
Todd
little
is
more
doing.
before it's my turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know how you were like, oh, Jerry was a race car driver, only exist in the echelons of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. That song came out in 91. That song had been out for 9
nerd.
whole years before Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 came out, Todd.
And they saved it in a vault with that Wu-Tang Clan album until Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out.
That guy, that shitty farmer bro was the only person to own Jerry was a race car driver for 7 years.
Before Martin Shkreli was the Bond villain we all knew him as. He was just holding on to this, and then he released it thinking he was hurting us. Yeah, that's airtight. That's airtight.
Matt, save us from this. Pull us out of this well of despair Todd has pulled us into.
All right, Kyle, I would love to be the one to save us from this sinking ship, because I'm going to level with you. This is a really hard question. Picking any one song off these 2 albums is nearly impossible because every song on these soundtracks is scorching hot fire. I'll dump on Todd all day long, mostly because it's Todd, also because he chose Primus. But I struggled to dump on Andrew because Superman's Goldfinger, albeit not a real song, is a really good song and a good example of a great song off these soundtracks. But I think that you can't even begin to pick a best song from these games. You have monster stars like Rage Against the Machine and Bad Religion. You also have breakout tracks from lesser-known artists like Lagawagon and the High and Mighty. There's so many bangers on these soundtracks that if you seriously think you've narrowed it down to just one, you're kidding yourself. So instead, I've decided to answer your second question. Kyle, what song represents this game as a whole? Well, that song is none other than When Worlds Collide by Power Man 5000.
I mean, I like it. I think it's a bad option for the answer, but I like it.
I like that song. That's it.
That's it.
It's not a bad answer to this question, Todd, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody played Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Everybody. Punks, jocks, preps, nerds, everyone who went over to their friend's house in the year 2000 put their hands on a controller for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. For a few short years, everybody thought...
I never played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
There it is. You're worse than that normie neighbor of mine, Brent.
Andrew, we do a podcast and we said pick a song and you couldn't even say that right, so your opinions don't matter anymore. Listen, everybody thought...
Matt and I are running a race and you are sitting down.
For those few short years,
Wow, guys.
everybody thought skateboarding was rad, everyone knew how to pronounce the last name Burnquist, and everybody thought they were going to skate in the X Games. Not only that, in my 6th grade class book in backwards rural-ass Pennsylvania, the 2 favorite athletes were Mia Hamm and Tony Hawk, which means these games had spread and worlds literally collided when this game came out. Everybody played it, and this song personifies these soundtracks. When Worlds Collide, Power Man 5000.
That's really forward thinking of rural Pennsylvania to be.
I mean, not to be the wet blanket that I'm about to be, but
get ready.
I'm pretty sure those like back pages of the yearbook were not decided by your 6th grade class.
They were definitely figured out by the class ring company.
Yeah, by the company that made those books. Like,
Nah, bro, we printed those books in my elementary school. I remember it clearly. They're shitty and black and white and stapled together paper. But there was a class vote, and they were like, who's the favorite female athlete? And everybody was like, I don't know any, but I do know Mia Hamm is on a milk carton, so Mia Hamm it is.
Because we drink milk. That's what we do.
That's
in
fair.
Pennsylvania.
So I'm not gonna say who won and lost this round, but I will say when I fired up When Worlds Collide on the YouTubes, that one was the one that took me back to sitting on a really awful couch in someone's really awful basement in the year 2000. So let's move on to prompt number 2.
But what about what did you find when you looked up Goldfinger by Superman on YouTube?
Nothing, because that's not a thing.
Because it doesn't
Not a
exist.
real song.
not a real song, not a real band.
I need to remind everyone, because everybody else got to sing their riff. I need to remind everybody that the amazing riff of Power Man 5000 is the ba ba da 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 ba ba da 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 ba ba da 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 ba da ba da. That's in your head for the rest of your life now. Congratulations.
Good.
That song does
Thank you.
kick ass. Not the right pick for this, but it kicks ass.
Whatever.
So now that we have an idea of what the original soundtrack, Todd did bring up Jerry was a race car driver. So
Do you want me to say? I can sing it again if you want.
But we've got a good idea of what made the original soundtrack so special. So it's time we start picking out tracks for our new soundtrack. So guys, what do you think here in 2019, a whole 20 years later? What track do you think best captures the counterculture punks and the anti-establishment that the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater tried to capture? What do you think is going to be fun to skate to for all night Tony Hawk sessions, and that you won't hate hearing for the 900th time?
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. That was good.
That was really good. That was a fun Easter egg we'll listen to later. What I like so much about the Tony Hawk games and listening back to these songs and diving through the nostalgia fields, it's all about just fun, goofiness, and not taking anything seriously. It was like there was kind of an anti-establishment, but like an anti-establishment diet. Like it wasn't like fuck the man. Like it wasn't like, I get that there was a Rage Against the Machine song on there.
It was way more like, we're not gonna do our homework and stay up past bedtime anti-establishment than like burn down the system.
Yeah, it's drawing an anarchy symbol on a Trapper Keeper level of anti-establishment.
Yeah.
Which is just like, it's just fun and silly and goofy. It's MTV2, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, these games are MTV2.
Right, which is why we love them so much, and they hold up so well today. Because if I could just watch MTV2, like if I could watch 2005 era MTV2 just always on my TV, I'd be such a happy person.
Someone out there is gonna tell you how you can do that, because I'm sure
it exists.
It's definitely able to be done.
We're not here to talk about MTV2. We're here to talk about Tony Hawk. But just like MTV2, I mean, the sheer fact that you could grind power lines to restore power to a satellite dish while doing it as Shrek shows just how much this game embraced the ridiculousness and well. You could be Spider-Man, you could be like a cop, you could be like whatever Private Carrera, the stripper, the fake stripper character, like comic book stripper character was.
I think it was like Sergeant Carrera. It was like cop based, but yes, that's real. That's very real.
That's very real. But that was what made it so much fun. It wasn't just that you were doing tricks. Like, yes, it was cool to do all the tricks were real, but like my dumbass 12-year-old self had no idea what the difference between an indie and a nosebone were. I don't even know if those are different.
Or if they're real.
Yeah, or if they're just like, it could have just been like made up words, and I'd be like, cool, I did a 900 indie to nosebone. Like, it's
at least as real to me as turning off the gravity and like doing tricks in the air for 4.5 minutes is.
Like, how about okay, great, you did a 900 degree spin. How about a 9,000 degree spin? Like that was the fun stuff because I get to be Darth Maul, grinding down the airport terminal and like jumping to find little hidden tapes inside the baggage claim. Like that's what was fun about it. So I think to really embody this, who cares goofball attitude, I want to point you in the direction of Zoo Trippin'. Zoo Trippin' is a very cool, very local band, local to Columbus. I've seen them myself twice. They're just super fun, chill, like kind of punk, kind of alternative. They fucking thrash, but they also don't give a shit. It's like that perfect blend of not giving a shit mixed with oblique references to living in your early 20s, like the early Dude Ranch era of Blink-182. It's just wonderful nonsense backed by awesome guitar licks. So like, for example, the song that I specifically want to add is called Ah Shit. It's just ah shit. And that's like the first 30 minutes,
and then
30 seconds.
For 4.5 minutes.
And then like it's just great.
It's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. And it's great. I love it. I would totally just grind rails looking for SKAT letters to that stuff all freaking day. It's like the song opens with them literally screaming "ah shit" for 30 seconds, and then we get a couple verses with gold like "you're walking like a boss, but you just have to shit."
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then it ends with a sweet guitar solo and it's out. It's like 2 minutes and then it's done. Add 4 bars to that bad boy, loop that track, rinse and repeat.
Quick question: is it "Ah Shit" by Zoo Trippin' or is it Zoo Trippin' by Ah Shit?
Also here for that clarification.
Yeah, good question. Since I've never made that mistake before, the artist is Zoo Trippin' the G is omitted.
Zoo Trippin' apostrophe.
So it's
Trippin'
hip.
apostrophe, so it's hip. It's like spelling your S as a Z. And then the song title is Ah Shit with 2 H's, and the I is actually an exclamation point. So there you go. Thank you for clarifying.
Oh, it's
Matt.
clever.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
The replacing a G with an apostrophe is the sitting backwards in a chair of naming of titles. Todd, what song do you think belongs on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6 soundtrack?
Sure. I'm still just really dealing with the fact it's only the 6th one. I expected this to be like, now that's what I call skating 39. So I'm really struggling.
That's the bad spin-off series that your grandma keeps buying you for Christmas.
I'll tell you what, the bad skateboarding series that my grandmother bought me for Christmas was actually Thrasher Skate and Destroy, and it wasn't bad. It was just different. So we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that when Todd does his flavor text for
Thrasher Skate and Destroy. It was a game made by the same people that do the magazine Thrasher, I believe.
Yes.
And the most fun you could have is a mini game where you crashed and try and did the most damage to yourself. So anyway, yeah. So what we need that upbeat driving drum beat that all the kids crave. That pairs well with their daily frustration that drives them to huff paint and play video games. And so that toe tapper is Unpaid Intern by Svalbard, as I'm guessing how it's pronounced.
You brought a band to the table that you don't know how to pronounce the name of?
Why did you pick this song?
Why? No, okay, so first off, Matt, your complaint is valid. Andrew's just trying to pile on because he's feeling vulnerable. Do not let this happen.
It's not
That's
a good
not how
one.
this works. You're not a good one, Andrew. Sorry.
Goldfinger by Superman.
Well, no. So if you listen to it, that opening riff is exactly what you want. It fits right into, I think, what you would get out of most Tony Hawk's Pro Skater like punk rock starts. It's that like driving drum beat, and so this game leans into what those darn punks nowadays that keep Pokemon going behind my shed and making out with one another really enjoy.
Oh man,
I think.
you had me for the first half of this argument, Todd, but you definitely lost me there.
I love when Todd prepares statements.
All right, no. So real talk. This song was kind of what came to be when I Google searched what music are punk kids into nowadays, and then
Todd.
I went down a couple
Todd.
hints, and this is where I'm at. It's a good song though. So
I like that you admitted you did that, and then you also admitted that you didn't take the first hit that came up because you knew that wouldn't be cool enough. You dug a little bit.
Oh, I mean, I'm not mainstream, so I wanted to find something that's it's fine. No, it's a good song. It fits into the exact genre that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater music gives. And like I said, it's that like pumping drum beat right at the beginning, and it's a good option. It's better than the garbage that Andrew said and the garbage that Matt's gonna say.
It's neither of those things. All right, I mean, it's a good song. Like, I'll give you
Yeah.
that. It's a
All
really
right,
good song.
that's the end of your sentence.
But it does not fit Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
You
Not
don't
even a
fit
little
Tony
bit.
Hawk's Pro Skater, Matt.
Todd, you're right. I'm much too large to be a pro skater, but that's neither here nor there.
If you notice, my rebuttals really have about one dimension to them. So let's just go on to Matt's answer.
Todd, I have a question for you.
Oh,
Did you play Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
that is an insult, and I did. Because I was the one that would like maximize my custom character till it was perfect, and then I'd have friends over, and I would get to play my custom perfect character, and they couldn't.
They'd be stuck with the starter character that isn't even Tony Hawk that you use to unlock Tony Hawk.
Whereas I have a 10 point in every category, like small, clown on a skateboard that could just bust out Christ airs back to back to back like nothing.
We call that the Ballad of Sad Brent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Let's
a callback.
let's quit bringing up bad memories from Brent's past and hear what Matt thinks belongs on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6 soundtrack.
Yeah, man, I would love to. So I'll tell you right now that the song that belongs on the THPS number 6 soundtrack is none other than She's Kerosene by the Interrupters. If you have not heard of the Interrupters, they are an absolutely kick-ass ska punk band out of LA that have only been around since 2011, so they are a little bit newer compared to most Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. But they are incredible. They are female-fronted, which is awesome in the ska punk scene, and Amy Interrupter has an incredible voice, and this song starts off catchy and then has woes in the hook, which, I mean, come on, any ska punk song that has a good whoa in the hook is gonna be great. But I wanna read you the hook lyrics real quick. I'm a match, she's kerosene, you know she's gonna burn down everything. She's an arsonist in her past life, and I've been burned for the last time. Skate anarchy, I love it. That's it right there. Plenty of skate anarchy. And then all of a sudden you get time, whoa, time, whoa. Super catchy, super hooky, stuck in your head for the rest of the day. This song screams Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, and it's the best. And I saw these guys in concert recently, and someone crowd surfed on a skateboard, so it's already in the scene.
Oh, wow.
I think I would have been more into it had you read more monotone time woes. I just hadn't really totally caught the refrain yet, and I think that would have helped me catch that.
I'm trying to live up to my dumps like a truck name.
Oh man, I really want a remixed version of this song now that just takes out the original vocals and replaces them with what Matt just read to us, because it would be great.
Please don't do that.
I don't know why it's so fun to monotone read lyrics. West James West, Desperado, Rough Rider, no you don't want Nana.
Todd, correct me if I'm wrong, Svalbard is also female-fronted.
Yeah, sounds right.
Is it not?
It's
Good.
true. Todd, I'll answer that question for you. Yes.
Hey, thanks, Todd, whose voice suddenly sounds like Matt.
Todd needs to answer this. What could you glean from the 30 seconds of the YouTube video that you watched?
That the 30 seconds intro sounds great on a Tony Hawk's album. And it was better than your song.
No further comment.
Judge, the defense rests. All right, so we picked out some. I really like those songs. The execs don't understand them, so they think they'll be pretty good picks for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6 as well. But as I mentioned up at the top of this episode, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6 is a 20-year-old game. Tony Hawk had just turned 31 when the first Pro Skater game came out. And now at 51, he is not as much of a high-energy punk as he was, but more a super cool dad. And he listened to what we offered so far, and
I think it's like a grandfather. His oldest is our age.
Is he? That bums me out.
Yep.
So he listened to what the ideas we had, and while he thinks they're good, he wants something that's gonna match more his cool dad energy. So guys, what songs do you want to offer up now for Anthony Hawk's professional skateboarding, as we're testing out that name.
His CDE, his cool dad energy.
As you said, Tony Hawk was absolutely a pioneer of the industry. He became one of the first, if not the first, household name in skateboarding. It's still iconic today, even though he's been retired for a long time. So I think it's only fitting to look to a band who was also a pioneer in their day. And that would be, of course, Real Big Fish. Real Big Fish is one of the most notable breakouts of the mid to late 90s ska wave, with their one song that everybody knows, Sell Out.
Yep.
Sell Out.
No, we got it.
Yeah, everybody knows that song.
Yeah.
They're a real good cover band, too. They're really good covers.
What's the song that they did?
Take on Me?
Yeah.
It's Take on Me?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I didn't want to mess that up like someone did earlier in the episode.
Who did that? That was crazy. In research, every YouTube video I watch now, every YouTube video I watch now, default like the next video is their cover on Take on Me, because I've watched so many early mid 90s ska videos.
Oof.
They're like, you'll like this. We promise. We promise you'll like
we'll
this.
Shove this in your stupid face. Anyway, like Tony Hawk, Real Big Fish just kept going. And after 1996's Turn the Radio Off, Real Big Fish has since released 7 studio albums.
What?
Hell yeah, they have.
Yep.
Hell
on
yeah,
purpose?
they have.
All
On
of them?
purpose. With the latest having come out just last year.
Jesus.
Yep. I've actually seen them. I saw them live at the Newport.
On purpose?
On purpose, with my human
don't.
ears and my human eyes.
I would. That one's fair.
Well, and that was my initial. It was actually my wife's suggestion, and I was like, "You want to go see Sell Out? Okay." But we went, and
Wait,
I had
the band?
Wait,
Sell
Sell
Out?
Out band?
Was
band
the band Sell
Sell
Out,
Out?
Andrew?
You idiot. Get him.
moron.
Get him, everyone.
that wasn't
We did it again.
that wasn't one. That wasn't one. I did
It
that
was.
intentionally.
Did you? Did you really?
I did.
I don't believe you. I don't believe
did.
that you did.
I did. It's written here on the notes.
It is not.
That you added in after you flubbed the first one? That's what you did?
Andrew, take this lifeline I'm offering you. How was Real Big Fish in concert?
Sell Out was great. No, they were awesome. They were so much fun. It was like going to a barbecue. It was just like hanging out with a bunch of old dads. Like they came in with their not having hair and their Hawaiian shirts, and they're like, "Hey, you guys remember us? We're Real Big Fish. We had that one song one time. Okay, 3, 2, 1." It was so much fun. But like, you want to talk about dad vibes? Look up the video for their most recent songs, "Life Sucks, Let's Dance," off the 2018 album of the same name. It has got some hardcore who gives a shit dad energy.
Oh, I hear this. I fired this up, and like the first thought I had was middle-aged guys with full tattoo sleeves in ties at the office. Like that is the exact energy this song is capturing.
Oh yeah.
It is the band that when you go to the happy hour bar after work on a Thursday evening, and the band that's playing a set at 5:30 is that band, and that is what that band looks like. But so that video is literally just like footage of them in the studio, superimposed with this mid-30s couple who are like kind of white people dancing, like just kind of swaying back and forth and like kind of shimmying back and forth. It's got so much dad energy. But like the song is really good. I mean, it's still Real Big Fish. Like, you know, they're not changing anything. They're Real Big Fish. They've been Real Big Fish for 30 years, and fuck you if they're going to do anything different. But hey, if you want more Real Big Fish, well then you're going to get more Real Big Fish. And that is exactly what we need for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6. Hey, you want more of this stuff that you loved 30 years ago? Well, here it is. Put it down your fat fuck gullet, you piece of shit.
Oh God.
Wow. Oh man.
That's
That could have
a real dark turn.
That tagline's not going to be approved by Activision.
We're workshopping it. Life sucks. Let's dance. Fuck off.
All right. So Todd, moving on from that horrific conclusion, what song do you think belongs on Anthony Hawk's Professional Skateboarding?
So I want to paint a picture for you of like a suburban neighborhood, right? So Tony plugs his iPod Classic into a dock and then switches on The Trooper by Iron Maiden before he hits the half pipe during his midlife crisis.
Who are you?
And I get it. It is far less punk and way more rock, but that's what 51-year-old Mr. Hawk is. This is the song that was Knights of Sidonia in the 80s before there was Knights of Sidonia.
It
So
was certainly not that.
What? No,
no,
it
those are
absolutely
two.
was.
not.
Listen to
The
the,
only
song
thing
and be
those songs
wrong.
have in common is that they're songs.
No, okay, that's super wrong. Your argument is flat and wrong. Imagine that he's hosting a pool party cookout for the neighborhood. Dad shorts and all, right? Just then, some kid says he lost his edge. In that moment, the trooper kicks on, he cracks a Miller High Life, and he skates into unexplainably drained pool and busts a 720. He doesn't get that crazy anymore, and then he steps out of the bowl and pops him a leave so he doesn't hurt as bad tomorrow. It perfectly hits how he is, BDV, Big Dad vibes? I don't know what we're saying anymore. BDE, Big Dad energy.
We have not said anything. Only you have said these abbreviations.
Todd, you've done a lot of talking in this episode.
It perfectly hits how he has those strong dad vibes and his tastes have matured, but he's still got it.
Can we make fun of you for saying that he hurts his bad?
What did I? So I said so he doesn't hurt as bad.
He hurts his bad.
Don't you try and put me under this bus with you. It's not that spacious.
Come on under this bus, Todd. It's great.
I don't know if he needs to do that, Todd. I think you're doing that fine on your own.
Okay. Also, that is a song based on an 1800s poem called "Charge of the Light Brigade," and it's about a soldier carrying out orders that they knew were futile. Much like the cruel march of time, it can't be avoided, but Tony will still meet it head on.
Oh man,
Wow, Todd.
you're all bumming me out.
Big Dad energy. Drinking Miller High Life.
I want to reiterate real quick something I said before we pressed record. And Kyle asked me, "Hey Henderson, do you think you're going to win today?" And I said, "Well, Kyle, I don't think I'm going to win today. But I absolutely know that Todd is also not going to win today."
I think in that moment I yelled from off screen, "I don't think I'm going to win either."
He did.
I did not ask that question. That information was provided to me unprompted. Matt, can you bum me out any less than these two old dads?
Oh yeah, 100%. So I had a really hard time picking like what the dad energy song should be because I had two bands that had already been on a whole bunch of Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and one of those bands
Like six or more.
Well, yeah. One of those bands was this weird unknown band that no one had ever heard of called Goldfinger. But then I heard earlier that their name might actually be Superman, and I didn't want to screw it up, so I just decided not to talk about
It
them.
was before they got famous. They changed the name last minute. You wouldn't have known that if you really didn't know the band that well, Matt.
Yeah, my bad. I should have known more about John Feldman and his musical efforts.
Andrew gets that mixed up a lot because he knew them before they were Goldfinger. That's how cool
you know,
he
like
is.
how the chorus goes. Here I am, something like I'm a Goldfinger,
Oh,
doing everything I can because I'm a Goldfinger.
The theme song to the third Austin Powers movie.
Matt, what song did you pick, please?
please.
Yeah, so the song that I picked was from the band that I haven't checked the numbers, but I think might be on the most Tony Hawk soundtracks, and that is the band Bad Religion off their album that came out just a couple months ago, and the song is called My Sanity. If you have not heard it, it bops super hard, and it is the most like Tony Hawk on Twitter in 2019 energy that I've ever heard. The whole song like revolves around the line, "Am I losing my sanity?" But it's really kind of all about like, man, I woke up today and the world is just not the way it used to be anymore. And I don't really know what the hell is going on, which is pretty much every tweet that Tony Hawk sends. Man, I woke up today and people thought they recognized me, but they just weren't sure anymore. And that is My Sanity by Bad Religion. And also it's insanely catchy. It sounds like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater song. And it loops really well, so if you want to uncheck all of the other songs on the soundtrack and just listen to this Bad Religion track for 8 hours, you're not going to feel too bad for doing that.
I think it's really telling that you guys answered the cool dad energy question the best out of all three of these so far. Just saying. So, good news. We have turned in our soundtrack song list to the execs, and they're looking
That was
it over.
quick. We like just gave that to you.
Real
we
quick.
work fast here. Debate this industry.
Yeah, so they're looking that over. Sounds like they're going to come back with a couple more questions for us. But while we wait for them to look that over, let's hear from some of our friends of the show.
Are you tired of the domestic discussions of the more pedestrian podcasts? Looking for a more enlightened way to talk about video games? Then look no further than Left Trigger, Right Trigger, the video game book club, where 4 hosts discuss the more sophisticated issues in games. Topics include
body parts,
Zelda,
The Division,
Hyperlight Tokyo Drifter,
good vibes,
Time Machine,
doing the biscuit faces,
being terrible,
Musapan sex dance.
The faces are terrible.
when the mouse is away, or when the cat's a mouse.
I can't tell white people apart.
My body is going to dissolve. I'm playing wine.
The Gashapon is just a womb.
Man, this game's got hot orcs.
Left Trigger, Right Trigger, your video game book club.
Wow, that was
What?
really disappointing.
All right. We are back, and our execs have reviewed the song list, and they're good. They're happy with the song list. That's all set to go. However, they've been running the numbers, testing the market, and they don't think Tony Hawk's name can sell a game on its own here in 2019 anymore. He's been out of the spotlight for a while. He's just a cool dad now. He's not, the most popular athlete in the world anymore, according to Matt's 6th grade class. So we're now into super secret bonus question territory, by the way. They want us to pick a celebrity to kind of co-headline the game with Mr. Anthony Hawk, to kind of pump up those numbers and get the younger kids in on the fun too, and not just have it be a nostalgic throwback dad gamer game like it's gonna be if we don't pick the right celebrity. Andrew, what celebrity do you think we should reach out to co-headline Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6?
Well, not to be immediately condescending or anything, but I actually disagree with you. I think we need to definitely make this a nostalgia trip, because there are enough skate games out there already, and this game has been done 1,000 times. My argument is that we need to go back to quote unquote the basics and bring back the original, all the people who fell in love with Tony Hawk originally, which is people like us. A game that came out 20 years ago, we need a celebrity who hasn't been around for a long time. Someone who was popular in the late 90s and the early 2000s. So allow me to submit to you Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6 featuring Val Kilmer.
But why?
on purpose?
Is it just Val Kilmer? Or is it Val Kilmer as Batman?
No, it's just Val Kilmer.
Okay,
because Val
great.
Kilmer comes up, and it's like, again, like
Please explain.
somebody who, like Tony Hawk, is just kind of hanging out, doing his own thing, being a cool dad, enjoying the life of retirement. You can go hang out with Val Kilmer, and the first scene, he's like, "Hey, what's up, in Val Kilmer? I'm Val Kilmer. Remember the Doors? That was cool, wild, right?" And then you can go skate and hang out on Val Kilmer's alpaca farm. Excuse me. You can go grind all of the fences in the alpaca farm, and you can go collect secret VHS tapes under the alpacas, and then high five Val Kilmer as a secret objective.
Does Val Kilmer have an alpaca farm?
So, yeah, 2 questions. Does Val Kilmer really have an alpaca farm? And did you know that before I asked this question?
I did. Here's the bad thing. Yes. I did know that. I'm pretty sure it's an alpaca farm. Now he has like some sort of farm some sort of ranch in Montana. Maybe it's not an alpaca farm. He had a ranch in New Mexico. Oh, he just had like a legit ranch. That's even better. Great.
This is a weird thing to be debating in this weird podcast.
You can go hang out on Val Kilmer's New Mexico ranch and go high five Val Kilmer and talk about how weird the movie The Doors was.
I only want this if like Val Kilmer's Batman in the Batman suit has to be an unlockable.
I mean, he's got it. He
character
can't
play as, right?
he can't fit into it anymore, but he's definitely got it.
Oh, that's back there.
Oh, we're like, so when we're rendering this game, we're rendering like chubby Val Kilmer. We're not
Yo,
we're not gonna
full figured Val
It's 2019, Kyle. What are you gonna body shame Val Kilmer now? Just let the man retire in peace, you monster.
I'm just saying, we're not gonna render him in his prime to be a character in this game. We're gonna render him as is.
What if he came in thinking that was going to be the deal, and they're like, "Oh no, oh Mr. Kilmer, you already signed the dotted line, my dude. Get into your skivvies and put those little plastic dots all over your supple body. We're getting your full figure on this one."
That's my answer.
Wow. Val Kilmer's
that's
supple
the best
body.
celebrity. Oh man, Todd, I'm afraid to hear what
No, it's
what
not
celebrity
scary.
you think it is.
So if we're trying to pump up this 2019 release by just attaching another great celebrity, I'm going to go the exact opposite of the way that Andrew went. Instead of pulling out something that was relevant, 20 years ago, I want the it man of 2019. We're going to bring, it is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6 featuring Keanu Reeves, because Keanu Reeves is the star of a weird made for Netflix movie.
Not the star, but go
A
on.
supporting star of a weird. Oh, how about this?
I think a cameo role at best. I think he's in one scene.
The cameo role that none of us expected, and everyone collectively went, "Is that Keanu Reeves?" He is rumored to be in a Marvel movie coming out. He is going to be in a cybernetic assassin game.
Rumored by Todd.
It's
wow,
coming.
Todd,
It's happening.
you did not check your you didn't prepare for this at all because
The question we were just asked 2 minutes ago. Yeah, Kyle, I didn't prepare for it very well. You're right. I didn't research Val Kilmer's alpaca farm, but here I am with your option.
but
Well, I
Andrew
just
did,
know that.
So yeah. Cyberpunk is the next
There it is.
game from the same studio that brought us the Witcher series,
Oh.
which was featured in the trailer of and has been memed to death since
The
then.
point being, 2019 leading into 2020 is the year of Keanu Reeves. Attaching him to anything at this point is just a full send for success.
Yes.
But also, it doesn't have Val Kilmer's supple body, so I don't
So
know
how
at
right
this
an
point.
answer could it be?
I hate two things. I hated one that you tried to invoke the Keanu Reeves meme, and I hate two that you used the term full send for success.
It's actually in my email signature.
Yeah, I know it is.
That's disgusting.
Gross.
You have become the monster.
Todd is the monster. Matt, do you have a better answer than Val Kilmer, I guess?
Oh, Kyle, it is an answer. I don't know that it's better, but it is an answer. So, take a journey back with me to the year 2000 in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. We already brought up Sergeant Carrera, but if you remember, the first unlockable character in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was the dumpy Officer Dick, the terrible, unkempt police officer who...
I think I see where this is
Used to
going.
get-
I hope I don't see where it's going.
You don't. Trust me, you don't.
If the next words out of your mouth are Paul Blart Mall Cop and or Kevin James, I'm disconnecting the call.
Wow, Kevin James would have been a much better answer than what I have. Can I change to Kevin James?
Nope, you have to. Your answer was locked in when you started.
Good.
Go on.
All right, fine. So anyway, Officer Dick had terrible stats, and nobody really liked to play as him, but he was the first unlockable character, and he had a bunch of funny quips for when he fell over, and all of his moves were different, lame types of moves, like the lazy ass manual, or the sobriety grind, or the yeehaw front flip. I know, it's awful.
I forgot about this part of the lore.
Yeah, so it's time for us to bring in another fake punk poser skater who wants to be cool and hang out with the kids, but really can't hang, but is going to be the first unlockable character and have terrible stats. And that will be none other than the bass player for the punk band Foss. Are you aware of the punk band Foss? No.
I'm not. I'm still thinking about Paul Blart.
You know we're adding this celebrity to try and sell more copies, right?
Yeah, let me tell you why, boys. You know who the bassist of the punk band Foss was?
Please tell us. I'm getting bored.
None other than 2020 Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, okay.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6 featuring Beto O'Rourke wearing the dress
Man.
he wore in the cover of Boss's
I hate it.
7-inch.
I mean,
EP,
it hits
the
a
El
different
Paso
demographic.
Pussycats.
This was the
Oh.
moment I realized that I actually won this episode. And it's amazing how I pulled it out this victory.
Do you think for Paul Blart 3, it's just going to be called Paul Blart 3 Oops All Blarts?
If it's not some kind of blart-based pun,
Yeah.
then I'm less interested than I was even before we started
The phrase
this conversation.
Blart-based pun is really good.
I think that's just the title. It's something Blart based pun.
Oh,
All right. Well, I'm struggling to keep the framework of the execs going, but the execs have taken your celebrity recommendations and promptly threw them in the trash where they belong.
you're just like opening the door and yelling it, and they're like, "Give us a different one."
The correct answer was Kevin Hart. They were looking for Kevin Hart.
Oh, he's in everything.
That was the joke, yes. So let's just move on to our closing statements as to why I guess we should pick your soundtrack to be the soundtrack for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6. I guess that's where we're at. Andrew.
The band's name is Goldfinger. The song's title is Superman.
Good. Matt.
Or Todd.
Or Todd, whoever's next. Not Todd.
I get it.
Why don't Matt just go ahead?
No, go.
I
You go,
get it.
Todd. Todd, go. I want this for you.
I've thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
I don't know. Some of my music makes sense and other ones didn't, but in the end I think like it has a pretty strong big dad energy, and if there's anyone that's going to buy a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6 game, it's a bunch of dudes in their late 20s, early to mid 30s, and they're going to want to listen to the music I chose. I take a leave so I don't hurt so bad.
Good. How many leave do you have? Should we get a leave as a sponsor for the show, Todd?
I mean, I've taken a non-zero amount in the past week.
Good. Matt, now it's your turn. Also, which one of these is Beto?
The one in the dress?
Far left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Are you ready to go? Cause I'm ready to go.
Shut up.
What you gonna do, baby? Baby? Are you going with me? Cause I'm going with you. It's the end of all time. And that's what it's like when worlds collide, Kyle. That's what it's like when worlds collide.
Do you feel good? Did that feel good, Matt?
I do. Yeah, that felt a lot better than my answer to the super secret bonus question.
That's how you wanna wrap up your argument for this. Okay.
The solid C minus.
Yeah, with Power Man 5000, it definitely
Good.
is.
So let's go on to good vibes. Let's all say good things about each other. Because we didn't do that a lot this episode.
No.
So I will say, I really I want to talk about the songs real quick. I definitely hear like the picks for the second and third question, like absolutely showing up in like what would now probably be like a 300 track song list for a new Tony Hawk game, because like Blu-rays can hold a jillion gigabytes. Andrew and Matt, like Zoo Trippin' and the Interrupters is like the perfect ska, just like you're not really hearing it, but it's there skawing away in the background while you try and nail the trick for the third time. And Todd, I was initially put off by it, but like that screaming that's in Unpaid Intern is like absolutely what like the Tony Hawk sound has evolved into in the last 20 years. So like that also 100% goes on there.
It was intentional.
Yeah. And then all three of the picks I absolutely hear at the like the cool dad, the Gen X dad barbecues. Those are absolutely playing on the old like 2000s era boombox that we all still have tucked away in a closet somewhere, playing while we drink Natter Days at the cool dad cookout. But I'll let you guys say good things about each other.
The CDC, where there's BDE.
Stop
it.
Todd doesn't get to say good. Don't say good things about Todd anymore.
This was really fun for a lot of reasons, mostly dunking on Todd. But
all right.
Also, Todd, you had a lot of good picks. I was surprised by Unpaid Intern. That was definitely out of character. I would have expected that more from a Matt. but I get why you picked it, and it's not a bad song. It's not my favorite because I don't like scream punk, but
Mhm.
I respect it.
Yeah.
And I know, and similar to
That's where
Kyle,
I'm
like
at.
that's definitely where the genre is going, and like that's a pretty good pick. That video was cool though. I definitely like that video.
Todd absolutely knows everything we're talking about because he 100% listened to the whole song a few times so he would be prepared
Definitely.
for this
I
episode.
watched at least 45 seconds of the YouTube clip, and I audibly said at the kitchen table with Shannon across from me, I go, "Yep, that's the one," and then I just closed the window.
Now here, I actually there was a race car driver. Fuck. Let's
Yeah, it's there now, and you hear it. You hear
It's
that bass intro.
It's so dumb, but like Primus, it's like, hey, I'm still listening to this. Hey, I'm still listening to this. Oh,
Of the 27 songs we could have talked about, like that was the one that prompted an hour-long conversation in our group chat last night.
and that's a really good, for the same reason that I thought that I picked my couple of songs, like my Zoom Trippin' song. Primus is a great example of the feeling of the Tony Hawk game. So I think that is probably not the best song, but I think it's definitely the one that like envelops the attitude the best. So really good pick there. Matt, I mean, we knew you were gonna win. This was gonna be yours to lose. Fucking, I love the Interrupter.
Yeah, they're
Interrupters are
so good.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, yep, that's it. That's good. I will settle for second. That's fine. Like I can't even say anything bad because like I can't even pretend to say anything bad. That's such a good pick and such a good group to begin with. So awesome. And then yeah, Bad Religion. I mean, again, that's Maiden and Bad Religion are going to be what's playing at a barbecue. I guarantee that every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Andrew with Superman. Like obviously that's a classic. Like that's so good.
Do you mean Goldfinger, Todd?
Well, and that was the thing. The only good thing was that you messed up the name, so we just got to keep yelling it.
Which, like, I fucked up, but I'm still mad about it. But because I fucked it up, we didn't get to talk about how Goldfinger is still playing album or still making music, and their music still kicks ass.
Yeah, man. 2017's The Knife is like one of the best albums of all time.
So fucking good.
So good.
I didn't listen to that, so I'm just gonna take your word for it on that one.
You should. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Goldfinger, obviously like a great option. Real Big Fish, like I have not listened to their old dad vibes, but like I'm pumped to go give them a listen. I'm just
listen to Goldfinger first.
Oh no, I'm just familiar. I'm familiar with like with Real Big Fish, not like Real Big Fish in the past decade.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the same.
Nothing has changed.
Nope.
Matt, out of our 3 answers for prompt number 2, Matt, I listened to yours all the way through.
Hey,
so
yeah, that's a win.
Yeah. Once She's Kerosene came on, I'm like, oh, this is really, really good. Oh man. Oh, beans. Like this is a good song. This one's real good.
It's almost as though Matt professionally played music live on air for a few years of his life.
Whereas I heard something and I was like, that's good enough. Send. Matt was like, oh, this is a thing that people will enjoy listening to that matches the theme of what we're going for. Huh. My only complaint about you, Matt, I would have wanted more Paul Blarts.
Ah, yeah. Noted. Considered for the next episode.
Hindsight's 2020 when it comes to Paul Blart, though, so.
It's true.
I actually could have taken less Paul Blart, so I would say between the two of us, you're probably at a good level of Paul Blart.
I'm the right amount of Blarty.
Kyle, how's the room feel for blartiness?
So I've had a lot of time to think about Todd's Oops All Blarts and what that movie would be. And I now very much want a Being John Malkovich type movie, except it's all Kevin James in Paul Blart's playing like everyone. You open a door and you go into Kevin James's mind and everyone becomes Paul Blart's. So that's the only thing I've been able to think about for the last 5 minutes while you guys have been talking.
That's fair.
Matt, say good things about these 2 chuckleheads.
Yeah, I'd love to. Man, so like I picked music professionally for people to listen to for a couple of years, but really what it comes down to is I like cut my teeth on my music taste from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. Most of the punk music that I got into was because I played endless hours of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And yeah, man, Superman is absolutely the Tony Hawk Pro Skater music. I Googled Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, and the first thing that came up was the YouTube video for Goldfinger's Superman. Like, it is the
Sure
song.
did.
So good pick on that one, Andrew. And then, yeah, man, Todd, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver was definitely one of those songs that was like, it was there,
Yeah.
and you were never sure, but you listened to it every time, and it stuck with you. And so kudos to you for picking the weird one. Andrew, Zoo Trippin's tight. Man,
Yeah, it is.
they're
Yeah, they
so
are.
good. I love those guys. I love that band. Great stuff. And yeah, Todd, I don't know that I would put Unpaid Intern in a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, but I would listen to it, and I will listen to it every day for the next year and a half, because that's a good ass song, and I really like it.
Is that your general time span on how when you get tired of songs? Like a year and a half?
Yeah, give or take, honestly. Like, I'll play
For
the
a
same
good-ass
shit for about a
song.
year and a half before I switch it around.
All right.
And then, yeah, Real Big Fish, good pull. Very good pull.
Thank you.
The Trooper. This is good vibes.
It felt right for a dad.
I'll hold my comments. I'll hold my comments on the Trooper. My good
God.
vibes for the Trooper is that I saw Iron Maiden live, and it was one of the best live shows I've ever seen, and that's that. There you go.
That's a compliment for my choice.
Yep.
All right. Well, the execs have talked it over. They've looked at your soundtrack listings, I guess. That doesn't break the continuity I set up earlier in the episode at all. And they have decided that they are going to continue to use Matt as their music consultant for
That
the
makes-
Tony
that
Hawk
makes sense.
Pro
That's
Skater
fair.
6 game.
I'm happy.
Actually, Kyle, I have a quick announcement. I would like to concede from this race.
Yeah, Andrew and I already left. We
I
we
already
went and got our
announced-
parking
I already
validated.
announced the winner.
Yep.
You can't
No,
wait
no,
till I say
I-
who won and
no,
then say
no,
nope, I don't lose, I quit.
I'm conceding with grace, actually.
Okay. Well, so that is it, I guess, for here at Debate This. Matt gets to be the music consultant for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6. So thanks for listening to Debate This. Follow along with the argument on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast. And check out our website at debatethiscast.com. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review so more people can hear our nerdy, dumb, weird, stupid show. Until next time, I'm Kyle Harper.
I'm Andrew Valkilmer has an alpaca farm, Henderson.
I'm Todd. Oops, all blarts, Thomas.
I'm Matt, the punk in the group. Fuck these normies. Cole.
Saying thanks for debating with us, and if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.